day, everyone. Welcome to your favorite morning podcast, Classic Conversation, the podcast where we dive into the classical stories that bend reality and reshape how we see ourselves. Thank you so much for tuning in today. In today's episode, we are excited to share with you the three different stories that we will be tackling today, which will bring you several life lessons that will help you know more about reality. I'm Kenzel Lawas, your host for today's podcast, and today we invited three speakers who will discuss three different meaningful stories. We will tackle the important highlights per story. Let's now begin. Our featured stories today are unique. Why? Because almost the authors behind those stories have won a Nobel Prize in Literature. The Nobel Prize in Literature is an annual international award presented to an author from any country whose work, according to Alfred Nobel's will, has produced in the field of literature the most outstanding work in an ideal direction. Imagine how great our featured for today's literary texts are. The first topic today is a short story. A short story is a story with a fully developed theme but significantly shorter and less elaborate than a novel. Our short story for today is entitled Telephone Conversation by Wole Soyinka. Wole Soyinka is a Nigerian playwright, poet, novelist, and essayist who became the first African to win the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1986. Born on July 13, 1934, in Abeokuta, Nigeria, Soyinka is widely regarded as one of Africa's most distinguished literary figures. To know more about this story, let us call on stage Miss Rachelle and National. Good morning, Miss National. How are you?
I'm fine, and I'm really excited to discuss with you today about telephone conversation.
Great, the floor is yours.
Okay, so telephone conversation portrays a brief phone call between a black African man and a white British landlady about renting an apartment. After agreeing on a price and location, the man discloses his race to avoid a wasted trip. So the landlady awkwardly asks, "How dark?" wanting to ask his exact skin tone. Shocked by her blunt racism, he replies with sarcastic descriptions of his body parts, varying shades, ending with an offer to show her his raven black bottom. So the poem concludes with her confusion, highlighting the absurdity and cruelty of racial prejudice.
What a brief but meaningful discussion, Miss National. Moving forward, could you tell us the relevance of this story in our society?
Yes, okay. So racism isn't always loud or obvious. Often it appears in a quiet and subtle moments, which telephone conversation skillfully exposes. According to Luke and Pavlidou, the poem uncovers how racial bias can emerge in everyday interactions, like when the landlady focuses slowly on skin color, dismissing a person's true identity. This reduction strips away humanity and reveals how deeply rooted these prejudices are, even in casual exchanges. So, what makes the poem powerful today is its reflection of society, showing that racism isn't just a distant problem but a common experience. It draws attention to small, often unnoticed acts, microaggressions that reveal much larger systematic issues.
Alright, that's a nice thought, Miss National. And for the last question, may I get your insights about this short story?
So, according to Yespriaitis, telephone conversation is actually a poignant exploration of the subtle yet pervasive nature of racism. I agree with this, since through the lens of a simple phone call, Soyinka exposes the dehumanizing effects of racial prejudice and the challenges of confronting such biases in everyday interactions. In addition to that, the poem also serves as a reminder to the importance of empathy and understanding in bridging divides and fostering genuine communication.
Thank you so much, Miss National, for that wonderful and meaningful discussion. Let's now proceed to our next topic. This one is very exciting since this is not just a short story, but it is a novel. A novel is a fictitious prose narrative of book length, typically representing character and action with some degree of realism. Our novel for today is entitled Animal Farm by George Orwell. Eric Blair, known as George Orwell, is an English author, essayist, and critic who is best known for his books Animal Farm in 1984. His book, Animal Farm, is a parable and satire of the Russian Revolution in which he used farm animals to represent various political groups and the emergence of totalitarianism. To understand this short story, let us call on stage Miss Alexandra ALBAY. Good morning, Miss ALBAY.
Good morning, too.
It's nice to see you. How have you been?
I'm alright. Thank you, sir, for inviting me here. I'm actually excited to share to all our audience the novel about Animal Farm.
Go ahead.
So, Animal Farm by George Orwell tells the story of animals who rebel against their human owner, Mr. Jones, inspired by Old Major's theme of equality. So, after Old Major's death, pigs like Snowball and Napoleon lead the rebellion, so renaming it Animal Farm. Initially, all animals work together and share the farm's success, but Napoleon soon seizes power by driving Snowball away. So he and his allies become increasingly like humans, breaking original rules and exploiting the other animals. Life grows harder for them, and even loyal animals like Boxer are betrayed. So in the end, the pigs become indistinguishable from humans. And the ideal of equality is corrupted into all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others.
Great discussion, Miss ALBAY. Moving forward, could you tell us the relevance of this story in our society?
Yes, so according to Edwards 2024, Animal Farm is still relevant today because it represents authority and dishonest people in our society. So this is true since it talks about how the democratic process is distorted by those in authority like Napoleon and his fellow pigs. So this mirrors the hopes for change and a better life that people everywhere, including in the Philippines, often fight for. So Animal Farm serves as a crucial warning. Simply changing who is in power doesn't guarantee true freedom or equality. So, in addition, it shows how easily ideals can be betrayed and how power can corrupt, making new leaders act just like the old ones. Lastly, this story reminds us always to be vigilant, to question authority, and to never stop striving for a truly just society for everyone.
Wow, what a great realization, Miss ALBAY. And for the last question, may I get your insights about this novel?
For me, Animal Farm is a fascinating novel since it's not just a tale about talking animals, it's a sharp critique of human behavior and power. So according to SparkNotes, at first glance, it seems like a simple story about animals, but it's actually a powerful commentary on human nature and the dynamics of power. So what struck me most is how the animals start out with this idealistic vision of equality after overthrowing their human oppressor. But the vision quickly deteriorates. The pigs who take charge end up becoming just as oppressive as the humans they replace. It's a brilliant illustration of how power can corrupt, even those who begin with best intentions. So the line, all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others, really stuck with me because it made me reflect on how easily principles can be compromised when power is involved.
Thank you very much, Miss ALBAY, for that meaningful insight. We learned a lot from you from your discussion. And now, our last topic is the most exciting part since it is not just a short story or a novel, but it is a drama. Every time I hear drama, I always think of all the drama I watch on GMA. Kidding aside, when you say drama in literature, it talks about a composition in verse or prose intended to portray life or character or to tell a story, usually involving conflicts and emotions through action and dialogue and typically designed for theatrical performance. Our drama for today is Six Characters in Search for an Author by Luigi Pirandello. Luigi Pirandello was a groundbreaking Italian playwright and novelist who shook the foundations of traditional theater. His works, including the iconic Six Characters in Search of an Author, delve into the elusive nature of reality, the fluidity of identity, and the complex relationship between illusion and truth. To get a deeper understanding regarding this drama, let us now call on stage Miss Caryl Monique TALEON. Good morning, Miss TALEON.
Good morning too, sir.
It's nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too. Thank you for inviting me to talk on your podcast. I'm excited to share what I know about the drama Six Characters in Search for an Author.
Wow, that's great. Since this drama is very long, please provide us only a very brief summary of it due to limited time. You may now start the discussion.
As the company prepares for rehearsal, six mysterious characters appear, claiming to be abandoned creations seeking someone to finish their story. The father and the stepdaughter recount a tragic past involving family separation, poverty, and disturbing encounter between them. Intrigued, the manager pauses rehearsal to hear more. When the characters reenact scenes, the stepdaughter demands emotional truth over theatrical artifacts, clashing with the authors. As the story unfolds, tension rises over how much realism the stage can hold. The father argues that fictional characters are more real than people, while the son resists how his role is portrayed. The line between performance and reality blurs, culminating in an offstage gunshot. The cast is left unsure if it's real, and the manager, overwhelmed, curses the chaos that the characters have brought.
Okay, that's good. Let's now tackle this significant star society.
According to Ministry of Culture 2022, Luigi Pirandello's Six Characters in Search of an Author blurs the boundaries between reality and illusion, art and life, and identity and performance. The play centers on fictional characters who interrupt a rehearsal, insisting their unfinished story to be told. Through debates, mainly between the father and the manager, Pirandello explores whether fictional characters with fixed identities are more real than changeable mortal people. The characters break theatrical conventions, exposing the artificiality of the stage and merging fantasy with the reality. Also, Solak 2023 states that the play structure and conflicting narratives emphasize that reality is subjective, identity is fluid, and what we perceive as truth is shaped by individual perspective.
Nice discussion, Miss Talion. And for the last question, may I get your insights about this drama?
According to Solak 2023, Six Characters in Search of an Author by Pirandello, the play examines the relative nature of reality and challenge of depicting truth in art. The play illustrates this by showing how different viewpoints distort perceptions through the characters' contradictory description of their experiences. Based on Roosevelt 2023, the play frequently confuses performance and reality. Actors, characters, and stage crew shift roles and play within the play collapse into each other, leaving the audience unsure what is part of the story and what is real. I agree with this, since what I found compelling is how he blurs the line between reality and illusion, suggesting that both are subjective and shaped by individual perception. The character of the father, for instance, emphasizes that everyone experiences the world differently, and that language only creates the appearance of mutual understanding. The conflicting stories among the characters highlight how elusive a single truth really is. Pirandello ultimately presents identity as something fluid and fragmented, framing reality not as objective, constant, but as something constructed in the mind of each person.
What a wonderful insight, Miss Talion. Your insights help us to enlighten the meaning of ambiguity in the story. And thank you as well to all our speakers for today's podcast. All of your discussions are great. To conclude, what these three stories reveal in very different ways is the complexity and subjectivity of truth, power, and identity. In telephone conversation, Soyinka exposes the ridiculousness of racial prejudice and the ways in which language can both disclose and obfuscate social reality through in sarcasm. Animal Farm examines how those in positions of authority can pervert equality principles, demonstrating how even good intentions can be tainted if left unchecked. And in Pirandello's Six Characters in Search of an Author, it questions the concept of objective truth itself by showing how perception shapes reality and identity. When taken as a whole, these writings demonstrate how fragile and flexible our perception of the world may be, whether as a result of belief, communication, or societal structures. And they promote a critical awareness of the influences that influence our viewpoints. And that's it for today's episode. I hope that you enjoyed and learned something new today about the three classical stories that we featured today. Thank you again for tuning in today. See you in the next episode.